Hi, and welcome to my channel, Life in Abundance, where women get together to share how to be wealthy and wise. My name is Kathy Vu, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. So, today we're going to start with breaking a money belief that a lot of people have. Unfortunately, it's one that keeps a lot of people poor. And that's the belief of you got to work really hard for money. Now, some of that is true, but some of it's not true. So, which is which, right? Have you ever known someone who worked really hard and didn't make money? Right? I'm calling out to you, stay at home moms out there. You work like crazy, busy 24/7, and probably stealing naps when you can because you're just so overworked, so overtired. And are you making money through that? Right? Now, I know that's not the same as having value because as a mom, you just put so much into your family that that's your value proposition. You're bringing value to your family. And that's not the same as money. And we're going to talk about that difference in a little bit as well. But just the belief that many, many people have, maybe you have it, I had it. And sometimes I'm still trying to fight against it. That belief, you got to work so hard for money. But if you can work hard and not get money, is it possible that the opposite is also true? That there are people who don't work hard and make a lot of money. If you can work hard and not make money, and then other people can not work as hard and make a lot of money, are both true or both possible, then can we see how you have to work hard for money? That particular phrase may not always be the case. If there's a possibility that we could actually change our perception so that we can understand how to make it work for us, could we end up being one of those people who don't have to work as hard and still make money? Is that possible for us? So here's an example. You probably thought about some for yourself as well, but like celebrities, athletes, you've heard stories of how some of them make money in their sleep. Now, obviously, when we're sleeping, we're not working that hard. And so, for sure, while they're sleeping, they're not working hard for their money. Now, I understand we can't all be athletes and stuff like that. And of course, there is that argument that they had to work really hard up front. They had to work really hard up front to learn how to be as great as they became, right? To become an athlete, to become an actress, to become a singer, songwriter, artist, whatever, to become great at something in order to reap the benefits on the back end. Now they can sleep and not work as hard, but make the money, right? Now, I get that. And if you're tracking with me, then you might have the question, well, what about me? I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm a working mom. I have kids and I'm barely getting by. What can I do to make my outcome different? Because I want to be one of the ones who sleep and make money. That's what we want to talk about today. Under normal circumstances, I'm actually a little bit more of a private person. But since getting into what I'm doing now, being on in YouTube and being on social media, I have learned how to share my story a little bit more often. The reason why I do that, even though I initially was pretty uncomfortable doing it, is because I'm hoping it will be an example for a lot of people out there because I'm not a celebrity. I'm not necessarily great at a whole bunch of things unless you call being good at Zumba a monetizable ability, plus or minus, right? Okay. For many years, I was a stay at home mom. Before being a stay at home mom, I did have a career and I made decent money and then had to give it all up to be a stay at home mom. So I understand the value proposition of putting your time and effort into your family. If you're in that boat, high five to you. I also want to acknowledge that is a tough job, and not enough of us get the attaboys, attagirls, the accolades for it. I hope you feel all the warm fuzzies every time you get hugs and kisses from your kiddos. For whoever it is that you take care of, maybe you're a fur mommy, maybe you have pets, or maybe you take care of your parents. For anybody you take care of, thank you. If no one else has said it, thank you. You're making the world a better place. Now, but if you're also thinking, that's wonderful, I feel great, I love what I'm doing, I'm glad I'm taking care of these people, but Kathy, it's not paying, and I would love to have more money. I would love to be like an actress, singer, athlete who is making money in their sleep. But what can I do? I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I'm a working parent who already has so much to do. I don't have the time to do anything else. And that's really the rub, isn't it? And that's why the phrase working hard to make money, if you believe that, and that's the extent of your belief on money, then it would follow that to make more money, you actually have to work more or work harder, right? So once you open up the thought that it doesn't always follow that I have to work hard for all of my money, because some people obviously are making money without having to work hard, and I would just like to be one of them. The way to do that, unless you have a magic skill that you can monetize, the way I did it was investing. And I know for some people, okay, some people already are investing. If you're investing already, I applaud you. Good job. You're more of the way than you probably think, no matter what your bank account says, because it's a thought process of I'm willing to invest in my future. That's probably the biggest hurdle for most people. Now, if you're not investing yet because you're like, oh, I didn't know what to invest in, I didn't want to lose money, all these reasons about not investing, we're going to touch on some of those today, but continue following me and we're going to get to a lot of them. And hopefully we'll be able to help you get into the position where you're like, okay, I think I'm ready. Investing itself is I'm willing to do something today to help my tomorrow. That's basically the thought. Willing to do something today to help my tomorrow. You're probably already doing it with your effort, with your values. If you're raising children, you're putting your effort into those children, teaching them, hoping that they're going to make a better future, not only for themselves and for your family, but also hopefully that they're going to do something that makes the world a better place, right? So you're already putting your value into something for tomorrow. That's your time, your effort, your energy, your care. And now that's even bigger than money, right? Isn't care bigger than money? How would you know? If you had a friend and they could say, I can come and care for you, or I can send you money, which one would be more valuable to you, right? So if you pick the care, you're already doing that. So now, if you're already doing the big thing, the care, the value, the effort of your life into your future, the money thing is a smaller thing. So hopefully that puts a little spin on that perspective, because you're already doing the big thing and the money thing is a little bit less. Why? Because if you lose a little bit of money, you can also always make back the money, right? There's another way to do that. So what's the best way to invest? Always try to invest in your own education first. That does not mean you have to go back to college. Education is simply learning something that can help you build a skill, build an ability, build an understanding. And the reason why you invest in your own education is because that's something that has like 1,000% ROI. It's information you can use and no one can ever take it away from you. There is never a loss, really, in education, right? Somewhere, sometime in your life, you're going to be able to use that information. So invest in your education first. Maybe investing in finance information, whether that's buying a course or investing your time into learning something, whether it's free on YouTube or however that goes. So invest in your own education. And then another thing about investing. Now, I'm going to say that as an investor, I feel like I just about did it all on investing. I'd love to share with you my investing story to give you an example of one possibility, and two, to help you understand that I got to where I got, which is I no longer have to have a 9 to 5 job. I have invested in such so that I make enough money. I don't need to work anymore. That investment has made it so that I can retire. My kids are actually still in from elementary through high school. None of them have gone to college yet. And our investments are going to be able to put them through college. So, how was I able to do that as mostly a stay at home mom? There was a period of time I actually had a part time job, and that's a lot of the money that I put into my investment. Then poof, it just took off. And I'm going to share with you what I did, how I did it, and why it's working. So, if you're interested in that, stay tuned. My investment story is when I was a kid, my family was not very well settled. My mom was mostly a single mom for most of our lives. And so she worked her butt off trying to make money. Therefore, we were by ourselves a lot of the time, having to learn how to be resourceful, take care of ourselves, kind of sort of right. There was always food on the table, but not the happy dappy sort of life that I'm hoping I'm providing my kids now, right? Anyway, from that, I ended up with a career. And then I had to give up my career to stay home with my kids. I felt like I didn't have a choice in that because they had like a medical issue or a health issue. I felt like I had no choice. I had to stay home. At one point, having a paycheck, now not having a paycheck, I felt like, dang, I wish I had that paycheck. I want my kid, like that would be so helpful to be investing that to get my kids to college. All these years that I'm not working, I'm losing that retirement inflow. So that's why I ended up investing. At the time, I didn't really know anything about investing. I grew up poor. I was always interested in investing because I didn't like being poor. It seemed like rich people knew how to invest. And so, how did I learn? I didn't go to finance school. I didn't have someone who knew how to invest who told me. I had to learn it on my own. Started investing in the stock market. That's the easiest way. Where if you ever had a job in the US, you probably have some sort of 401k or IRA or something like that. So there's already money there that you can invest. But here's the thing, after a few years, I looked at the numbers, and supposedly, from what they were telling me, the numbers meant my investments should have been growing 10, 12%, 15% a year. But if you do the calculations, they weren't. And then I tried to figure out, well, why? I mean, they're telling me I should have made this much money, but it didn't grow that much. Like, what's going on? And then I realized even if you're using low cost index funds and stuff like that, they're still having to take out a fee. They take out the fee even when you lose money. Even when the stock market goes down, you still pay the fee. So after whatever the growth is, and they take their fees away, you didn't make, or at least I didn't make the 10, 12, 15%. I was making like 6 and 8 and sometimes 10%. So it's like, okay, I got to do something more than that. I got to do something better than that. Because then I had 3 kids, all preschool. So I was still at home. Now I got to get 3 kids in college. So the amount of money that we did have for college, now I have to split it 3 ways and still be able to get them all through college. How was I going to do that? I looked at real estate. I didn't have thousands of extra dollars to buy some sort of real estate, try to flip it. And I was a stay-at-home mom with 3 little kids. I didn't have time to do that. Looked into gold and silver, tried a little bit of that. Not fast money, is it? And then you have to deal with storage, where you're going to put it. So what I ended up doing is I ran into Bitcoin. Now, before you go, oh my God, Kathy, don't, stay away from Bitcoin. Oh my gosh, that's so dangerous. Really quick. I understand why most people still don't trust Bitcoin. I do. The news media, up until probably this last year, have always been telling us it could be a scam. So and so lost money. This and this happened. China's banning it, as if Bitcoin is kind of like this evil Ponzi scheme. But if you don't mind hearing me out, if you can remember back, depending on how old you are when you're watching this, if you can remember before the internet, I remember getting a computer. There was no pictures on it. You have to log in, C colon slash slash, and then you have to know the commands for it to do anything. Back then, the internet was new, and the argument was on the news. The argument on the news is the computer is a word processor. Why do I need my computer to talk to another computer? Like, what's the purpose of that? That was the argument. Because the internet hadn't been built out yet. People didn't trust it. People didn't see the need because they had never experienced it before. So it was a new technology and people didn't understand it. So people distrusted it, right? Oh, there's no need. Cell phones. Do you remember having a corded phone? If you need to go to the next room, you just get a longer cord. Why would I need to talk to anyone in my car or walking around or, right? That was the thought process. Who would need before smartphones and cordless and mobile phones? The thought was who would need that? Oh, it's a gimmick. Now, I know that's a little bit different from some people's thought that Bitcoin can actually be a scam. So, what I just talked about was, is Bitcoin a fad? Is cryptocurrency a fad? Now, here's the thing about scams. Cryptocurrency can be a scam. There are more than 21,000 cryptocurrencies out there. Most of them, hear me, most of them will go to zero. Just like during the dot-com bomb, everyone had an internet startup. Most of them went to zero. However, there were a few that became Google, Amazon, Netflix, right? There were a few that blew up. And it's because the technology was just growing, developing until there were leaders in the space and people understood what it was, how to use it. Cryptocurrency can have scams. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but it is one out of the 21,000 that has had a 15-year history of never breaking down, of being so trustworthy that governments around the world are now looking at Bitcoin and approving that banks have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Pension funds can put money into Bitcoin because, why? Because Bitcoin has been growing like no other that we have seen. Bitcoin has been growing like Amazon and Google. But Bitcoin can be even bigger because Bitcoin could actually be a cornerstone of an entire new finance system. So I know some of what I'm saying may sound pie in the sky, but consider this. If Bitcoin really was a scam, would it have lasted for 15 years? Probably not, but if on the outside chance, maybe it could. Would so many people be getting into Bitcoin and not like regular people, John, Joe, Schmo, whatever, but huge money management firms large companies, governments, sovereign states are getting into Bitcoin. And you don't think that they would have paid some really, really smart people a lot of money to try to figure out Bitcoin, to figure out whether or not it was a scam. So they probably did that. And the people tried to figure out if Bitcoin was a scam. And those people said, nope, this is legit. So I think it's okay for you, government of the United States, you, UK, you banks, to get into Bitcoin. Now, if they're doing it, is it possible that Bitcoin is not a scam and is not a fad and is actually a new technology that's here to stay? So if you're open to the possibility that this Bitcoin thing might just be a new technology that is going to come to pass, the question now is Bitcoin any better of an investment than what you've already got if you are investing? Now, hopefully, what I'm telling you is giving you food for thought. I'm not expecting that just because you hear it from me, you're going to, oh my God, I should put $1 million in Bitcoin. It's all going to go. Like, I don't believe that. I don't assume that that's going to happen. I mean, I would hope that for some people, it's going to be, this is the linchpin. I'm now going to research it on my own to figure out if anything that Kathy is saying is worth it. And I hope you do, right? That's going to be part of your investing education. When I started, I didn't know everything I know about Bitcoin right now. I am thoroughly convinced about Bitcoin now because I have been in crypto for years and I've been learning about it for years. When you first get started in any investment, you don't know what it is because you maybe you learn a little bit about it, so you put a little bit into it, right? You're wetting your whistle, you're putting your foot in the door. You're not betting the farm, you're putting a little bit in. And then as it grows, oh, you're gonna learn more about it. Why is it growing? Wow, this is great. And you learn a little bit more. And that's where I am now. I learned a lot about Bitcoin over the years. So now I have the conviction that I have. And my money's been growing all this time. So much so, like I said, as a stay-at-home mom, as mostly a stay-at-home mom, now I kind of have like this part-time job that has a little bit of money, whatever. But it's like a few hours a week. It's not like a real job. But anyway, just from that though, a basically stay-at-home mom built retirement for myself and my spouse, college funds for 4 kids, and we get to take more vacations than we used to. So if those are the kinds of things that you'd want, would you be able to do that doing the kind of investing or the kind of finance plan that you have now? If the difference between you getting all of those things, like what I'm seeing now in my life, is the difference between starting to put a little bit of time and effort into how do I invest? How do I make good decisions in my investments? How do I pick the fastest horse while I invest, right? That's all investing in your education first. Time, effort. And the beautiful thing is, even if you are a stay-at-home mom and you're up at night with kiddos, every once in a while, when they take a nap during the day, maybe you can pop open a video on YouTube that teaches you about investing. You don't have to go to school and spend thousands of dollars for your education. It's all possible for you. You just have to decide that you're willing to invest in yourself. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do want to get a jump start on whether you have some investments or you don't have any investments, but want to know the key points about investing in stocks versus real estate or gold, I've got an absolutely free webinar that's available for you. We'll have a link in the description. enjoy it. It's absolutely free webinars. And if you get some value from it, please let me know. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Join me again, where here we become the women who are wealthy and wise. I'll see you in the next video.